A very good evening, everyone. On behalf of Lakeland College and MSM Media, I would like to welcome you all to the MSM Agent E Summit Live Series for 2020. I'm Karishma Chaudhary, Manager Canada at MSM Media. Well, choosing a right college in Canada is a big decision and an important investment in students' future. Lakeland College has been providing high quality programs to Canadian and international students since 1913 with a motto of leading learning. Lakeland College constantly seeks to enhance the quality of learning experience through international opportunities for its students and graduates. Lakeland College, together with MSM Media, is happy to have you all here for an hour of ultimate knowledge-oriented session to help you boost your student recruitment practices. Lakeland College works closely with a carefully selected and approved group of agent partners to achieve its goal of internationalization. Well, before we move to the exciting part, I would like to let you know that if you would be having any question during the presentation, please do not hesitate to put it in the Q&A section in your control panel. And if you would be having any question related to something technical issues, then you can drop it in control panel. In the chat box of your control panel. I know everyone is curious and interested to learn more about Lakeland College, its program offering, its state-of-art facilities on campus, and of course, its welcoming local community. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce Mr. Paul Ostrowski, Manager International at Lakeland College, and Jennifer, who is the International Student Coordinator at Lakeland College. Paul and Jennifer, over to you.
Good evening, everybody over there. It's a pleasure to be able to have this time with you to discuss Lakeland College and education in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Canada. And we really appreciate you taking the time to spend this hour with us. So, as you know, Canada is, it's in the top 3 of places to go and study. And there are so many places in Canada that are really good places to study. There's Ontario, Alberta, Saskatchewan, BC, the Atlantic provinces. I'm from the Atlantic provinces. It's great. How do you decide where your clients should go? What is the best fit for them? Well, for us, we think you have to look at the college's USPs, the college's unique selling points, or its competitive advantages. So one thing that Lakeland has that is so different than any other post-secondary institution in Canada is we are the only bi-provincial institution. So how is that possible? How can a college be on both the Alberta side and the Saskatchewan side at the same time? Well, it's possible because Lakeland has two campuses. The first campus is, I think it was 1913. It's in Vermilion, and it's totally on the Alberta side. That's where we host our agriculture programs, our environmental programs, and our human services programs. But I think in the 70s or 80s, they opened the LLOYDMINSTER campus, and LLOYDMINSTER is the only bi-provincial city in Canada. And because we have a campus there, it means that Lakeland is both an Alberta post-secondary institution, but also recognized as a Saskatchewan institution as well. So that's great. Why is that important? As you probably know, a lot of students are interested in studying in Canada because of the pathway programs. The government, as you know, has made it very advantageous for students to come to Canada to work while they are a student and to get a post-secondary, a postgraduate work permit upon successful completion of their program. However, what if they are studying in a province and the job market in their field is not strong? it's going to be a little bit hard to get provincial sponsorship, but our students have the luxury and the option of choosing whether they want to pursue settlement opportunities on the Alberta side or whether they want to settle the opportunities on the Saskatchewan side. And we are the only province that is able to offer our students that flexibility. So that's one special point. So you can see here, the best of two, provinces. Alberta and Saskatchewan are not two provinces that have very small and poor economies. Sure, there's a dip in oil it's cyclical. The dips in oil, but Alberta and Saskatchewan do have a lot of jobs. So there is really good opportunity for students post studies. Now, what is another advantage of Lakeland College? We have about 2,000 students. We have about 200 international students. We did have a bit more pre-COVID, but everybody took a little bit of a dip, but that's going to come back. But our class sizes are typically anywhere from 10 to usually 40. So that means there's a lot more personal attention. Our instructors know their students by name. So our students typically, they do pretty well on campus in studies because we have smaller classes, so on. Okay, the next one. Because we are a public post-secondary institution, it is not just up to the college what we teach. We have to teach what industry demands because our mandate is to create workers. If we have students in programs that don't get jobs, we're not doing what we are supposed to. So you can rest assured that business administration, energy on our Lloyd campus, agriculture science, environmental science, human services on our Vermilion campus, they do lead to jobs, and it's in the high 90% that our students get jobs. Being in Vermilion, which is a little bit smaller town, and Lloyd, which is a smaller city, it's not Toronto, it's not Vancouver, but it's not so far from Edmonton or Calgary. It's quite nice. The winters are a little bit cold, but we have so many students from India and Africa. They don't complain about the cold. They buy jackets and coats. They're fine. And these days, unfortunately, with what's going on in the world, maybe it's not a terrible idea to be in a smaller city where you're not so close to other people. Social distancing, in a way, happens in the prairies by habit. Just you social distance because there's not 4 million people in the city. So we don't have many cases of infections here in Lloyd. I think there was a few in elementary school a week or so ago. In our college campuses, we have none. It's a testament to our senior leadership and their plans in the COVID, and the fact that we have very robust plans. We have very good entry plans for students to come after October 20th. We are on the list of institutions that are eligible to accept students. We have transportation, we have quarantine plan, groceries, medical assistance, checking in daily to see on their mental well-being and if they are complying. So we are in a really good spot where we are. So that is opportunity. The first thing, we have very good opportunity for our students. Now that's nice, but how are we on the quality of our programming? Well, as I mentioned, We have smaller class sizes, and we have excellent instructors from all over the world, from all over other post-secondary colleges and universities. They come from universities to teach at Lakeland, because maybe teaching in a college when you have 20 or 30 students is perhaps more enjoyable than teaching 200 students at the same time. So my point is that the faculty that we have has been here a while, and they stay, and they really like their jobs, and they really like instructing their students. And so it rubs off on the students when an instructor is really happy with their position. So you can see, and this was, I think this is about a couple of years old, okay, 2 or 3 years old. But there was a survey done all around Canada in 55 different categories, 40,000 students. Lakeland came in first in all of Canada for the college most recommended by students. So it means some students, some agents may not know about our college, but once an agent gets to know our college, once a student comes to our college, they like it, and they stay, and they recommend it to their peers. Second best overall value. So how much does it cost, and what are you getting? Second, how about happiest students? How are you doing on your campus? We came in second. Third best for getting a job. This I would like us to be number one, but we'll take number 3. Career services, employment, or recruiting. So the point is, Lakeland is very high in academic programming, and this is kind of proof to it. So our Lloydminster campus did not open in the 70s, as I said previously. It opened in the 90s, according to here, so that's fine. We have a population of about 30 plus thousand, almost 1,000 students. It's a very nice campus, very modern, very clean. And on this campus, we have, we'll come back to that programming. We have First Energy, which is heavy oil power engineering, which is a certificate or a diploma. This is September intake only, or actually in the middle of August. I know many of you are interested in May and the January intake, so we will focus more on that. But just so you know, there's an energy availability in September. Okay, so, however, the programming that we would like to talk about most right now is our business program, which has a cohort available in May, in intake in January, and of course in intake in September. So I would like to introduce Jennifer Gurman, who has been with the business department, and we are lucky to have her now in the international department. And she will talk a bit more about the intakes and what that implies in terms of course availability, the unique selling points of our business program compared to the others, and maybe some of the job opportunities that students might expect with this kind of credential. Okay, Jennifer, take it away.
All right. Thanks. Hello, everybody. Yeah, so our business administration diploma that we offer here on the Lloydminster campus, we have 4 different majors. So our first is the accounting major. So if you have a student that's interested in numbers, and that would be a good option for them. They can end up securing jobs in accounting firms, financial institutions, banks, non-profit organizations, and all other sorts of accounting type businesses. We also offer a general business diploma, which our students learn a broad range of, they learn all the different facets of the business world that they can take and out into the workforce. Our small business and entrepreneurship major would be perfect for a student that's interested in starting a small business, buying a franchise, that sort of thing. Our final one is the Real Estate Appraisal and Assessment Program. So this is great for someone that's interested in stats and real estate, I guess. Like you're learning how to appraise property values. You may find a job at the city assessing tax values, all sorts of things like that. We also offer our Administrative Professional Certificate, which is a one-year program. And this trains our students to be ready to enter a job in an administrative role in really any type of business. So our business program does have not only a September, but a January intake, as well as a May intake. In January, our students are available to choose any one of these majors that we have listed here, which is different to our May. Our May intake's a little bit special. We only are offering the general business program at that time. Our May intake is geared mainly towards international students. So if you have a student that's looking to have an experience where they're in a more like diverse, I guess, classroom, that may not be the place for them because it will be made of international students. I guess, yeah, so in the May intake, the students will be placed in 20 specific courses. So they won't have an option of what they take, but the courses they've chosen are really the favorites of everyone, the ones everybody was fighting over to get into anyways. So it's definitely a good option. Other than that, why would we take business with us here at Lakeland? Lakeland has a lot of hands-on learning. Not only do we offer flexible delivery with online and in-person courses, we also have all kinds of clubs and opportunities for students to learn and make such as our business club, our employment fairs, which you see pictured here, our student-run tax clinics, which is where the students go out and they help people do their taxes for free and learn that process. Our fashion show and a budget, our Dean's Business Case competition, Speaker's Corner, where everyone can go and refine their public speaking skills. We have students that run our athletes concession at our wrestler games. We also have something called Speed Meet, where students can come and pitch their business ideas to a panel of local business owners and get feedback and practice doing that. And yeah, other than that, I'm open to questions at the end if anyone has any more specific questions, or if I forgot anything, Paul.
No, I would just like to add that the real estate appraisal and assessment program, I think, is only offered at 2 other institutions in Canada, 2 or 3.
That's a true story.
UBC, and then 1 or 2 other places in Ontario. But it's a very unique program. And the job rate is good, salaries are good. Salaries are good. Business administration, I would say, comprises about half of our international students take business because it has a very good success rate for jobs and for pathway afterwards. So it's been very successful for our students. I see we have a couple of questions here. And I think right now I can see if I can answer this.
Paul, we can take these questions even after once the presentation is done.
That's a good idea. These are admissions type questions. I saw more about admissions, and that can be answered right after.
Thank you.
So, Jennifer, thank you very much for talking about the business department. Right. So I've talked about energy. So that's our Lloyd campus. On our Lloydminster campus, we have two main programs, energy and business. But now if we go to our Vermilion campus, which is 2 hours east of Edmonton, you will find our original campus, which has about 2,000 students on it. So our most popular program there is kind of tied, I think, between human services, which is certificate programs and diploma programs in working with kids, education, early learning, child and youth care. This has two practicums at the end of year 1 for a diploma and at the end of year 2. So make sure the students know they got to get their co-op work permits if they are interested in human services. Actually, our largest school, if we include our domestic students, is our agriculture sciences programs. There are 3 main things about this: animal science, agribusiness, and crops. So if students are interested in that. And our final one here is our environmental sciences programs, which is a diploma and a certificate: renewable energy, environmental sciences, water, conservation, and so on. But these intakes for environmental, agriculture, and human services are only in September. In May, we have our business, and in January we have our business, and in September the business as well. Now, so let's do a little recap. Lakeland is a great place for students because of opportunity, because it's safe. 2 provinces that have jobs. Lakeland is quality, small classes, programs designed to lead directly to jobs, and we have good rankings to show that it's true. Now, opportunity and quality are nice, but what about if you can't afford it? Then it's just a dream that you can't pursue. Lakeland is very reasonable. Our tuition price, I've done a lot of research on tuition prices across Alberta, across other places. We're about average. We are about 14,800 just for pure, tuition per year. So that's 2 semesters. So and then there's another about $1,000 for guard me insurance and for student association fees, mandatory non-academic mandatory fees, which is applicable across all institutions. So you're looking at $30,000, $32,000 for the full 2-year programs. That might sound like a lot of money, and it is, but students, you have to understand the students, it's hard for them to know, but they have to understand excuse me, that it is an investment. The amount of salary increase compared to good education and not good education is drastically different. So the $30,000 that they will invest, they have to understand they are maybe when they graduate, they're 22, 23. They're going to work until they're 65. So they're going to have a lot of years to make back the investment. That's what we all did. There's no easy way to a good salary. No, it's investing in time and education, and in the right education. So affordability, our tuition is affordable, and our residence is very affordable. Right now, because of the pandemic, we do not offer shared rooms, but God willing, when things improve, we will go back to shared rooms, and it's as low as $85 per week. That's pretty reasonable for a nice shared room. And if they don't want a shared room, it's $155 per week. This is on both, both campuses, the Lloydminster campus and the Vermilion campus. So tuition affordable, residence affordable, cost of living. Living in Vermilion or living in Lloydminster is much cheaper than living in Toronto or Vancouver. So you have to take into account that. So tuition is cheap, cost of living is cheap, residence is I haven't seen a lower residence price in Canada yet. We'll see. You might be asking about academic scholarships. We do not offer academic scholarships for students just, entering. They have, because our scholarships are based more on just academics. Our scholarships are based on a student's leadership skills and what they bring to their peers, and so forth. So second semester, third semester, fourth semester students, all students, international and domestic, are eligible for scholarships. And in terms of how much Lakeland gives for how many students we have, I think it's among the top in the country, because we do not just give a scholarship for 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Scholarships, I believe, are as low as $50 to $2,000. So that means our scholarships are spread out over a large number of students. So it's not just a scholarship for a few, it's scholarships for many, provided they are academically inclined and they are true leaders, because it's not just academics, it's leadership skills. That's important. So, opportunity, quality, affordability. That's what Lakeland is. Residence life, as I mentioned, is very cheap. And why wouldn't you live in a residence your first semester? It's linked to higher academic success. You make more friends. You find out where the good jobs are. It's very close to your classes. Lakeland is not a huge college, but we try our best to make our students have a big experience. So we have clubs and all the things that many programs and many institutions have. We try to keep our students very happy, which is why we were ranked second. Services, we have all the services of a big college. So Lakeland is a small college with big college services. That's how I like to think of it. Anything that's offered at a big college in terms of immigration advising, employment advising, academics, of course, scholarships, all these services, Lakeland offers them as well. We have a staff of about 4 in the international department. A staff of 4 for a student body of around 200 international students is a very good ratio for support. It means we are not too busy. We are never too busy to help students, to help our agent partners. We're never too busy. If you would like to learn more, of course, you can go on all these social media apps, half of which I use, half of which I don't. I'm a little bit older, so I'll stick with Facebook, I guess. This is what our campus looks like from an aerial view. So we would like to thank you for right now. And we'd like to special reminder on the 23rd, which next Friday, if I have my dates correct, there is an open house at Lakeland, a virtual open house. So if you look at this link here, lakelandcollege.ca, I know it looks a little bit long, but I'll leave it here for a while. If you want to take your phone and take a picture, then you can add it your web browser after, or you can go to our lakelandcollege.ca website and you can click on the open house link and you can register. So please, if you have time and you would like to know more about our college and meet the rest of our college team, please join us at our open house. Having said that, I believe that's about it. As I mentioned before, opportunity because of location, because of the jobs, quality because of our class sizes, quality because of our programming intentions and instruction, and affordability because of our tuition price, our housing prices, and our local living costs. That is why we think Lakeland is the most recommended college. We'll see when the next polls go out and how we do, but we expect to rank very high again as well. Having said that, I think we'll turn it over to a Q&A period, and I really thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you, Paul, for such a wonderful presentation. Yes, this is a time to take questions from our audience. And again, it's a reminder to everyone, whosoever is having any question related to Lakeland College, please drop it in Q&A section in your control panel. Okay, so Paul, here's the first question, a very interesting question. The agent want to ask that if student who has already applied prior at Lakeland College and already cleared a math test prior, but due to COVID-19, he had to cancel his application. So if he apply again in upcoming intake, do he require to give math test again, or the previous test will work?
This is a question perhaps more suited to the admissions department, and Karishma, you might follow up on this, but my understanding is all testing before COVID, if it's a Lakeland test, that it's still valid. COVID does not cancel your skills. If you show that you have the math skills by passing the test, like in IELTS test, if you took your IELTS test before COVID and then your admissions was canceled, you don't have to do IELTS again, as long as within the time frame. So I believe once you have shown all your skills and cleared your tests, our admissions department is not looking to make it more difficult for students to enter. We're looking to make it practical and sensible for how we admit our students.
Okay.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, that too. I can see a few more questions coming up again related to admissions, the related queries. So I'll answer it by myself because these are the repeated questions. So one is about the PT acceptance. Yes, we are accepting PTE with a minimum score of 58 and with no communicative skill score lower than 50. Apart from this, yes, we are accepting as with 6, no band less than 6 in any module. Academic requirement can be different for every program. And yes, the mathematic is mandatory for business program. However, student can give mathematic test that is free of cost, and that can be given online from their home. So that one option is available for those students who were not having mathematics in the 12th grade, but they are actually looking forward to study business program at Lakeland College. Okay, so the next question is about the fee structure and the requirements to get admitted. Generally, the agent is asking for the energy course, but in general process, like how is the process carries on, Paul, if students need to take the admission at Lakeland College regarding the minimum fees which they need to pay to reserve the seat?
The energy course fee structure is, I think, about $15,000 and change. and you are required to pay semester by semester. So all a student has to do to secure their seat is to pay the $1,500 tuition deposit, of which $1,000 shall be returned if the student is denied a study permit. So once they pay the deposit, they secure their seat, then on registration day, they complete the payment. Energy course structure and requirements to get in, please go on the site and have a look. I believe it's math, English, and I believe physics. There's a physics requirement.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. The next question is about the open board. Yes, we would be able to accept the students from the open board if they otherwise, fulfill the requirement for the program they are applying for. Okay, so next question, Paul, is how well connected the Lloydminster campus is to the public transport?
It's a very good question. As you know, some cities, it's just not practical to have public transportation because people do not use it, and the city will bankrupt itself. So on our campus, almost all of our students get around by car. So you're probably wondering, well, they can't afford a car right at the beginning, but we have a ride-sharing app which the students download, and they connect to other students to see who is offering a ride back and forth to school or to work, and then they share the gas money. So all of our students, they carpool. All students, they carpool. And if you live on campus, then it's very easy. You just walk. And if you have a part-time job, you carpool to your job. So you might think at first, oh, no public transportation. Oh my goodness. It's not as bad as you think. And our students do not complain about it. So in other words, they find solutions about it. So it's not a very big issue for us, public transportation. And as I mentioned earlier, unfortunately, the world has changed. And maybe public transportation is not such a great idea. Being crowded with other people. Maybe being in a car with one or two others is going to be kind of the norm moving forward, unfortunately. So, but anyway, the point is, no, we don't have strong public transportation. We have very cheap taxis, $5 a student one way, and our students carpool. Okay, I hope that answers.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. And now coming to our next question is about the application fee waiver. I know that currently we are not offering any application fee waiver, but I believe those students who would be attending the open house our session that may get this opportunity. Would you like to speak something about this, Paul?
Yeah, on the open house, if students register, they're eligible to click on the, or they get a code on the open house link, and they put that code into their application on applyalberta.ca, and the on open house, the application fee for students is waived.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. However, it's just a reminder that all the applications from India and Africa, they will be processed from us only. So I know that our admission team is in touch with you, so you can submit all the applications to us, and we will continue processing it on Apply Alberta. Okay, so the next question is, how about the scope of placement after energy course?
That's a very good question, and I will bring out the list here. Usually, so power engineering is, they make steam. And you're wondering, you make steam to move, I believe it's a turbine, and you create energy. So what places need to create energy? Energy for heat, electricity. You can work in an oil and gas plant. You can work in a power generation plant. You can work in food processing plants, institutional facilities like prisons. You can work in hospitals. You can work in shopping malls. You can work in a college. In fact, our energy center provides, not all, but it provides a significant amount of heat for our campuses, for our campus on Lloyd. It cannot send the heat Vermilion. So yeah, and energy has a practicum at the end of the first year and a practicum at the end of the second year. So students already get into the companies that they want to work and just have to do a good job to stay there.
Okay.
So yeah, so and energy is very popular, as you know, because the salaries for a successful power engineering, the salaries and the opportunity to go to fourth class, third class, second class, third class, is very high. It's very high to progress.
Right. Thank you, Paul. Coming towards our next question, do Lakeland College provide airport pickup for students?
It's a great question. To be on the list of post-secondary institutions that are allowed by the Government of Canada to accept international students, we have to have a transportation plan for students that need assistance. So is Lakeland College providing airport pickup? Absolutely. We have a van that is outfitted with plexiglass around the driver's side, and the driver will be me, and I sit there with my mask on, and the students come, and yes. We would prefer if Lloydminster has an airport, and WestJet flies from Calgary to Lloydminster. So if it's possible, it's better for a student to make their way to Lloydminster than we pick them up there and going to Edmonton. But if they are in Edmonton and require assistance, of course we will help.
Right. Thank you, Paul. Coming to our next question, it's about the internship. Do we offer internship to international students?
We call them co-op work placements, I believe, and 2 of our programs have that. Power engineering has 2, practicums, and human services have 2 practicums. Within our environmental sciences does not have a practicum because they're always working outside anyway. They don't need to go to another company. They have labs all the time where they're doing hands-on outside. I think practicums, human services, you study in the class, you study from a book. Do you have a lab with kids? No. So you need a chance to be hands-on. So they call it a practicum. And energy, you study in the Power Engineering Center, but then you have to get real hands-on work in the actual setting outside. Business administration has built in a lot of hands-on things, as you saw with the tax clinics. They're doing the taxes for the public. They're pitching their sales ideas. They're doing speakers corner, brushing up their speaking skills. So in those programs, besides human services and energy, they had to make practicums because there wasn't enough hands-on already built into the program. But business, environmental sciences, agriculture science, we have the country's largest student-managed farm. That's a practicum all the time. They're out there feeding the animals, planting the crops, harvesting the crops, making the business decisions in agriculture. So in agriculture, there's no need to have a separate practicum because the practicum is already on campus.
True. Yeah. Thank you, Paul, very well answer. And coming towards our next question, it's about the job opportunities which are available for students during their studies. And
while studying, okay, I'll be totally honest, Vermilion campus is a little bit smaller, so it might be a little bit harder for all of our students to find a job. but most of our students do. Lloydminster, if you want to work, you work. You don't want to work, you don't work. It's up to you.
Okay.
If you don't want to, if you cannot find a job in Lloyd, it means you do not want to find a job.
Okay.
There's many part-time jobs at the box stores, restaurants, services, so on. So if the student wants to work, it's there.
Okay, that's good. Coming up to the next question, how far the campus is located from the main city?
Okay, so our Vermilion campus is in Vermilion, and to get to downtown Vermilion is perhaps a 5-minute walk, 10-minute walk. And Lloydminster to downtown Lloydminster, 15-minute walk.
Okay, good enough.
So as you understand, campuses in rural settings typically aren't in the downtown. In, you know, Toronto, Edmonton, Calgary, you might find a campus right in the downtown. But in rural cities, there's the downtown, and then the campus is usually beside the downtown. Not necessarily in the downtown, because they want more space. So our campuses are larger, are much larger than a city campus.
Okay. Good. Here I can see a lot of questions have come up regarding the gap. So yeah, I would like to answer this question. So regarding the gap acceptance, we would be able to accept up to 3 years of gap after the 12th grade. And if student has done graduation, then generally we would be able to accept the gap of up to 5 years. So yeah.
We have another question about postgraduate work permits, and I think it's just helpful to know that if a student studies for a diploma, they are technically only eligible for a 1-year postgraduate work permit. And there was a question here asking about our aesthetics diploma. It's an aesthetics certificate. So your certificate is 1 year, so the postgrad will be 1 year. If it's any other program that's 2 years diploma, then they get a 3-year postgraduate work permit. So there's almost a bonus year for doing the diploma, kind of. So, and in 3 years' time, that's sufficient time for the student to find a job in their field, which is always recommended for PNP, provincial nominee. Students should look for a job in their field. It makes sense for what the provincial government is wanting. So 1 equals 1, 2 equals 3. Provided the students do not go part-time voluntarily. If there's COVID and they have to go part-time, and that's fine. The government doesn't mind that. But students should never voluntarily on their own switch to part-time studies. They cannot work, and they are technically not, eligible for a postgraduate work permit. They should also not take any unauthorized gaps. So whether they decide, oh, I'm too stressed this semester, I want to take it off, that might hurt their chances for getting a postgraduate work permit. So continually pursuing studies on a full-time basis, no part-time, no gaps. That will allow the student to be eligible for the postgraduate work.
Right.
We have another question asking about networking or computing courses. As you see, Lakeland ranked 3rd for getting jobs. That's because our programming is linked to our local industries. So if we open a computing course and students take a computing course, our job rankings will go down, because there are no jobs in computing in this area in Alberta, Saskatchewan. Oil and gas, agriculture, environment, business encompasses all of that. And then families have kids. So you have human services. But if we offered computing networking, any student that would get a job in that would go to another province. When the government of Alberta, Saskatchewan see that we are training students to go somewhere else, no, they do not like that. They do not. So short is, unfortunately, we have to only teach programs that lead to jobs. And computing in this area is not a strong job market.
Right. True. So again,
Well,
I would like to find.
I noticed that I skipped over the video showing the campus tour.
Yes, Paul.
Would you like to see it, or what do you think?
Okay, right now we are not having any question. We have answered all the questions. So if you would like to, show it to the audience, then yes, we can. It's great to see this video, Paul. I can say that our viewers got this chance. Paul, it's a time to wind up. Would you like to say anything to our viewers before we wind up the session?
Yes, I would like to say once again, thank you for joining me here and listening to our presentation about our college. That small college, big college services, quality, affordability, opportunity. Keep doing your best for your students. It's a difficult time. It has been for all of us, but maybe difficult times builds strength and builds resiliency in operations and in processes, and things they have the opportunity to improve. So we are all looking forward to the future. We are not discouraged so much with what's happening. We are all overcoming, and so we'd like to thank you for your efforts with that. And we'd also like to give a thank you to MSM, MSG for their support and for the support with the agents. It's really wonderful.
Thank you, Paul, and I would like to thank you all the attendees as well who have joined us today for this session. I hope that the session was helpful enough and informative enough for everyone who attended this. Till the next one, please take care, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye-bye.